Hello, welcome to another week of the old drop frames. This week, I don't know why I said it like that. This week we can actually talk about games though, and not watch 2 hours of a conference. So we can see how that goes. We've also got a handful of news to talk about. Some streamers changing platforms, which has hit this morning and yesterday, and potentially more this coming week. We'll see what we think about that. But before we get to all that, we do want to talk about today.
Well,
and
I just want to I have a short announcement.
Zeke's going to interrupt it.
I just want to say, guys,
Zeke's going to D.
I'm out
I don't know.
here.
He's going to D. It's a platform called
going
D.
No, that's you shut up.
It was a good bit.
Yeah.
I liked it.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
This is bit rate, isn't it? Right here. This is probably bit rate.
Probably, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, let me... Oh, yeah, that's definitely bitrate. Yeah. Yep, you're down to, 70 kilobytes of video.
Ooh.
Very strong video today.
Nice.
You're going to shrink, too. I can deal with that here in just a sec.
Oh.
Yeah. The resizing of the video is hilarious.
Okay, quick. JP, mirror me. Quick.
Mirror you? Okay.
Copy and mirror. Enhance, JP. Enhance.
I mean, that's mirror.
No, you need to add me with the...
I don't know what you mean. Mirror is just going to flip the center of it.
Mirror, you have to copy and mirror so that I can just have two halves.
Oh, I see what you're saying. That's a little bit more involved. You
That
didn't
may be
say
a bit more
copy.
involved.
You just said mirror. That was a failure of instructions, not of
That was a
execution.
failure of instructions. Absolutely. Double and
Anyways.
mirror for next time. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. I'll fix the bounding on the box here. While I'm doing that, I think in all three of our titles, and I think if you've been on social media over the past couple of weeks, you've seen the hashtag TwitchDoBetter. There's another one today, kind of at the same in the same tweets of a day off Twitch. I think, is there a third one that they're also adding in today? There might be a third hashtag that's a part of that as well.
I think those are the two big ones.
Yeah.
Hashtag a day off Twitch is specifically to bring awareness to the TwitchDoBetter stuff.
Gotcha.
So I believe that they're essentially the same, but the day off Twitch thing is its own kind of beast as well.
The other one was hashtag sub off Twitch was the third one that they're adding. Because I think Streamlabs has a tool now where you can subscribe completely outside of Twitch. And I have very little understanding of that, but I don't think that Streamlabs is taking a cut of that. I think.
Yeah. It's basically just it's a reoccurring PayPal tip.
Yeah.
I've had a web sub system on coalition.com since before I had a sub button.
Yeah.
It is essentially the exact same thing.
Right. I know a handful of other streamers as well utilize their own subscribe off Twitch methodology. But anyways, we wanted to discuss a little bit of the hashtag before we move on. But Zeke, where are we going to add him?
No, I think it's probably a longer discussion, but like, if I were Twitch, as far as like subbing off Twitch, like, I would do something about that, Wouldn't you? Like, if you were a business and you're like, these other third parties are getting money from our platform because that's where all the show is happening, is on our platform.
Right.
But the money is coming in from somewhere else. Like, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying great. Hey, I'm all for it. Like 100% always make your money. I'm always about that. But
this is the same argument that has been said basically since people had PayPal donation tip links. So like the idea is, okay, Twitch got the cheering system with bits. So why aren't they now shutting down any, PayPal links and stuff? And the short answer is, I don't think they can.
Yeah, they really can't.
I think there's a lot of legal stuff there where they can't do that. If you are working for somebody or you are in contract with somebody, I think it would be kind of not really too kosher if in your contract you said you can't accept money from like any other output. You know what I mean? Like, it's especially considering streaming and how there are lots of very different ways of income. They would have to have like an approved income list, and then you'd have to sign that, and it would get real messy real quick. So I think the short answer is there's two things. First of all, I don't think they can really do that. But second of all, I think if anything, it's up for Twitch to start dictating value to their sub program. Like, if you don't sub on Twitch, you don't get the emotes, you don't get potentially more of the channel currency if the streamer has that on. Like you don't get any of the emotes. You know, so I mean, there's a value to subbing on Twitch as opposed to not subbing on Twitch. But at the same time, when it does support the caster more to sub off Twitch, Twitch has to establish value to the sub program to make people want to use that instead.
Yeah.
And that is on them.
Yep.
Right.
And honestly, like I know that may have come across to some people who don't understand what I was saying, like come across poorly, but playing the devil's advocate is like how we understand, you know, the good and bad, the pros and cons of things, you know.
Yeah.
If you play the other side, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Kid's walking in. Co's gonna go deal or go talk to his kid wandering to the room. No, I mean you're absolutely right. They would, as Co said, you would have to you'd have to include it in the contract. And I think any creator that read that and realized like, oh, so I'm putting all my eggs in one basket and I can't contractually go outside of that basket, probably wouldn't sign the contract. But on the adverse of that, or not the adverse, but the big reason why that's a deal is, I think, where a lot of the ground to be made from, you know, hashtag a day off Twitch is going to be subbing off of Twitch, right? The second that you say, I'm not going to give you a share of my revenue anymore, and I'm going to go outside of Twitch to collect said revenue, that's where they could potentially start, you know, doing more, essentially. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. I think Twitch is obviously, if you go and look at their social media right now, they're saying goodbye to some creators, which we'll get to here in the news and in just a little bit with Tim and Lupo. That's kind of been their big thing the past couple of days. And Co's back. So let's talk a little bit about the...
Sorry.
No problem. No problem. You reminded
me of
up
that. From his nap, by the way.
Oh, okay.
You know,
just wanders in. Reminds me of that CNN. Was it CNN? Some news anchor where the kid walked in and he saw the mob scrambling behind. Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. But
I saw a story on Twitter. I don't know like who it was or whatever, but someone's like, my kid came in and said, "Change my diaper, motherfucker." Or something like that. And I was like, that's what I picture Co's like kid coming in, just like, oh, Co's house is not like he is on stream, huh?
Yeah, all of his kids just run the house in a lot of ways. But let's talk about the hashtag and kind of talk about a little bit of what this social media movement is today and why so many creators are taking today off. I think Co, you were live earlier, and I think the three of us talked about it really the past couple of weeks in terms of how we would handle the messaging on our own platforms today and if we were going to stream today. And I think ultimately we kind of all decided that we would be doing more from an awareness point of view if we went live today, rather than not going live and just having our social media presence kind of hopefully carry that message to as many people as possible. So with that, Co, I know you're more, like I said, into the actual, more aware of what's actually happening. So I was going to let you introduce it.
Now, let me start as I have pretty much all the things I've said about this. We are 3 cis white guys. This does not affect us. What you should do is you should go to Twitter and you should look for the hashtag TwitchDoBetter and you should look and listen to the people this is affecting. Mm-hmm. So please keep in mind what we are talking about right now. It says this is really not about us. It's about them and it's about what's going on. So basically, here's the deal. There are currently these things on Twitch called hate raids. They're abysmal. They're done by terrible people. And they're frankly just absolutely horrible things. Basically, what happens is botters are getting together and they are getting marginalized groups' personal information, including their home address and things of that nature. And they are then flooding their chats with literally death threats, homophobic and racial remarks. They are literally saying like, go kill this person and then post their actual address. And these attacks will happen multiple times in a stream. It'll happen sometimes for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of accounts. And sometimes it is to the point where it is to streamers that simply don't know how to deal with it. It is absolutely terrible stuff. But arguably the worst part is that it's been going on for weeks and weeks, and Twitch really hasn't done anything to any sort of meaningful level outside of some like basic PR stuff to try and stop it. So this has started the TwitchDoBetter hashtag, and that then fostered the well-intentioned hashtag day off of Twitch, which is where they were asking casters to today not stream on Twitch. Now, I just want to make it super, super clear that I believe I speak for all of us when I say that we are 100% behind TwitchDoBetter. This type of stuff is horrible. It is abysmal, and it should not be happening. A lot of times people come to Twitch to escape reality. So the fact that they don't even feel safe and comfortable on Twitch is horrible. And the fact that this stuff is still going on is, especially this long after, is really bad. If you look for a day off Twitch, the hashtag, there are some graphics going around with some meaningful things.
Yeah, right here.
Like not just people yelling at Twitch to do something and not having suggestions. There are some meaningful things that Twitch can do to help with it. And most importantly, I think the big message to Twitch is you need to be talking to these people. You need to be listening to the people affected. And we need to make this a dialogue instead of how I feel a lot of these people feel right now, which is that they're having this terrible thing happening to them and there's not really much being done and no one's really listening to them and their issues. So it's, oh no, for the record, I want to make this clear. Hate rating is not the Twitch raid system. It is hate rating that has nothing to do with actual rating. It's just they call it hate rating because bots start flooding your channel with this horrible, horrible stuff. Yeah. It has nothing to do with the actual rating system. There are a bunch of things that Twitch can do to make this better. And many, many, many good suggestions have been suggested by the people affected. So it's the kind of thing where there just needs to be more of a dialogue. There needs to be more discussion. There needs to be more talk. There needs to be more done. And frankly, it's becoming super clear that Twitch is to the point these days where they're just not agile pretty much at all when stuff like this happens. They just don't have the capability to react quickly. And it's a big problem. And this is what it's all about. On that note, the hashtag a day off Twitch came, and the next obvious question is, okay, so why are we listening to you say this right now? Why aren't you taking a day off Twitch? Well, the main reason is because I can almost guarantee that a large majority of the people hearing my voice right now, this may be the first time you're hearing any of this. And the problem with a campaign like a day off Twitch, unfortunately, is that it is a Twitter campaign, and unless you are a Twitter user, then just taking a day off Twitch doesn't really do anything. If anything, it gives the botters what they want, which is disrupting your cast, make it so you're not making money, taking you off the platform. And it's not bringing any more awareness at all outside of the stories that are being done about it, but that easily could have been done another way. I think many of us feel that in a situation like this, what you need to be doing is making more noise. So for instance, instead of everyone taking a day off Twitch, I think it would have been a lot more impactful if hundreds of thousands of casters put hashtag TwitchDoBetter in their title and spent the day talking about these issues, bringing more awareness to them, making sure people kind of see it and making sure going from there. I see someone in my chat just said unfollowed. Good, get the hell out. If this kind of stuff is what makes you unfollow the channel, I probably didn't want you to be here in the beginning. So have a great day and go find another channel. So anyway, that's where we are with this stuff.
Wait, no, I was joking. That was a joke. Please don't. Sorry, that's my. I get that all the time.
Yeah, but anyway, so TLDR, it is. We highly encourage you guys to go look at this stuff. Most importantly, listen to the people affected. Don't listen to us. Don't listen to our suggestions. Listen to the people affected. Listen to what they're suggesting. Amplify their voices. There's petitions going around. There's ways you can help. You can, if nothing else, just show solidarity and support to what they're dealing with. And hopefully we can get this knocked off Twitch as fast as possible.
Yeah. There's also a ton of articles if you're curious and want to go that route as well. I know like pretty much any of the big gaming websites has an article about today and are covering it. I know a handful of larger publications are as well. So there's a lot going on in terms of ways to kind of get into this and realize what's happening. So that is as Ko said, that's why we're live today, because I've seen a ton of people in my chat saying I've never heard of this, which is
seeing
good.
Some people say some stuff in chat about this. For the record, if every caster took a day off Twitch, let's say every single caster actually did, which would almost never happen, but let's say they did, that would not make Twitch work harder or faster, as has been proven in the past. Like they're not working, like they want to address this too. They know this is terrible PR. The issues are much deeper than just hitting Twitch in the pocketbook. Even if you were to every single person were to take a day off, it's not like that they're going to spring into action like a spry tiger when they haven't the last 3 weeks. There are fundamental agility issues at Twitch that just taking time off is not going to fix overnight.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing, like being loud about this, telling them it's not okay every single day. And most importantly, again, going back to this, listening to the people affected and doing what we can to support them through this. That's the big stuff.
Yep.
Now, would it be like a moot point to talk about like possible things that Twitch could do, or talk about like why and why not they haven't done things like this so far? Like the first thing I've heard is the two-factor authentication, making it like mandatory and stuff. Twitch, I heard the arguments against it. Like Twitch would lose like a lot of money making that a requirement because people wouldn't sign in or whatever. That's the argument that I've heard, and I'm not putting it eloquently, I realize, but
I'm going to be blunt with you, man. Every idea that could fix this has already been suggested by the people being affected. It's just an issue of Twitch listening to it. Like, we could sit here and discuss all the ways that could help and fix it, but it doesn't matter because they've been trying to have this discussion with Twitch for weeks now.
Yeah.
So the best thing we can do is just make sure as many eyes are looking at that stuff because it's all already there as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
And of course, Barry, first thing is like, 2FA won't work. It protects the user, not the service.
Yes.
It fixes nothing.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Also, when you start every time you suggest something, and this is also, I think, a big problem going on at Twitch, where every time something gets suggested, they come up with 10 reasons why it wouldn't work. And that's the thing. Suggestion, 10 reasons why it won't work. Suggestions, 10 reasons why it won't work. And then we just see this stagnant action, or I should say, complete lack of action, where every time that somebody suggests something, they just come up with 10 reasons why it won't work, and nothing happens. So yeah, it's a vicious cycle.
For sure. So yeah, once again, to reiterate, in case you're joining us, since we did start a little bit late, definitely go check out hashtag TwitchDoBetter and hashtag a day off Twitch. Kind of read their stories and read their experiences, because the hate raids that have been happening are abysmal. And while it has occurred in my channel, it is not to the extent whatsoever that I've seen it occur in a handful, way too many other channels. I think I want to repeat what Ko said. Like, the hate raiding is occurring with bots, with the messaging and or doxing of the creator of the channel that they're doxing, with things like, racial commentary and go kill this caster, blah, 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 blah. Just completely foul shit. So it is, it's not just a like, oh man, these bots are in my channel destroying my chat experience. It's more like, oh, I actually can't like stream today because of the mental strain that this shit is causing me. It's a big deal for sure. So definitely go check out that stuff for their stories and their side of things. And I would expect that a lot of them will be posting things throughout the day for people that are taking it off and kind of sharing their experiences why they're taking it off. So that's my bit on it.
Have they said, have Twitch come out and said like, how good our intro is? Have they talked about our intro and how good it is?
Not yet. We're still waiting.
No,
We're still waiting. YouTube actually did, though. I mean, we'll see what happens with that. But yeah.
No, has Twitch come out, or have they told people like, is there some place people can go? Like, if I were to get hate rated, is there some place like I can file a report? Is there a link, or is it?
I don't know if Twitch has done anything. There's a lot of documentation.
Like trying to call Google, like put Google on the phone.
Yeah. I mean, Twitch does have. I have seen a handful of moderators in some bigger channels talk about how they are actively going into smaller channels and supporting them in the sense of reporting those accounts and getting them banned off of Twitch. But like banning these accounts is doesn't necessarily do all that much, because they can just spin up more accounts probably faster than it will actually take for them to get banned. I know that things like FossaBot, if you're looking for like a widely used public available bot rather than a privately made bot, do have tools to kind of combat a lot of this stuff. But
also that hashtag that I was just talking about, the TwitchDoBetter hashtag, there are some excellent resources and tools in those threads that will help people who are getting hate rated.
Yeah.
Just another reason, if you or someone you know is being subjected to this stuff, hit that hashtag. You may have to sort through a little bit because today is obviously kind of a big day for it.
Yeah.
But there are absolutely tools in that hashtag that will help you.
Yeah.
Tools and resources, and how to use follower mode, how to enable different things for your channel, how to put on sub-only mode, stuff like that for affiliates and partners.
Cool. You guys want to add anything? Are we good? I think I want to give everyone the three of us at least as much time to talk about this as possible. So I don't want to move on unless we're all clear and concise.
I'm good,
happy.
man.
Zeke, you good?
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. All right, let us move on to some breaking news. Although part of it happened yesterday, and more recently, about 2 hours ago, we've got some of the first creators that signed with Twitch publicly have their contracts run out, and now they're going to YouTube. First was Dr. Lupo yesterday. He announced he's exclusively streaming on YouTube Gaming, and now TimTheTatMan this morning announced his big deal. The other creator that announced a deal when the two of these did was Lyric, and tomorrow's another day, so we'll see if Lyric's leaving. He hasn't announced that he's leaving. No.
I thought you meant to YouTube.
Yeah.
I was like, that must be super breaking.
He announced his initial deal, with Twitch alongside these two. It was kind of a trio of announcements.
One of the first.
Also,
first
Summit was close behind them too.
Summit was as well. Yeah. Those were kind of the first big wave of creators. What was that 2 years ago? I guess is when those were 2 year contracts is what it's looking like. But we'll see. I think my point of view of this is good on them for getting that bag. I don't think that Twitch would counter offer that. And I think as a creator, you never really know what the future holds in terms of where all this is going. And so if someone offers you X million dollars, you should probably take X million dollars and go to that platform. It seems like the solid decision. And then once that contract ends, as it just did with Twitch, maybe there's another bag that you can secure. So it makes sense. There's zero ill will towards any of these creators for doing any of this thing. I think any viewer or person on Twitch that is, doing this whole like YouTube versus Twitch thing, I don't really see that as maybe from YouTube's point of view. That's why they obviously did this, is to get more people over onto their platform. But from a creator point of view, they're not doing it because they think YouTube is a better website than Twitch, right? Like they built their entire brand on Twitch. They don't necessarily think one's better than the other. They're just getting that bag ultimately. That's my take on it. Do I think Lyric's going to go? I have no idea. I think Lupo in a lot of ways for me personally, made sense. Tim leaving was a little bit bigger of a blow. Like anytime I've thought about Tim, it's always been Twitch. He's always been kind of there. And I think if Lyric ends up leaving as well, that'll be for me personally, a pretty big shift because Lyric has always been so Twitch.
That'll be the end of an era.
It will. Yeah, it really will, is the way that I look at it.
If Lyric leaves, that's like the end of an era.
Yeah, for sure. And same as Summit as well. I don't want to leave him out, but if Summit leaves, it'll be a pretty big deal as well. But
I gotta say, opening up the doors for somebody to come up, fill in that new spot. Let me tell you, I've been doing push-ups and I'm working out, and I'm ready. I'm ready to switch all my gaming over to
we need a Zeke montage
hot
video
at the time,
right
and I'm
now.
gonna play that game until the next hot thing comes out. I'm gonna play that.
yeah.
So on and so forth.
It's an interesting thing to talk about that a little bit in terms of does this mean that there's a giant void of people on Twitch that are no longer, using their primes on a creator or no longer watching a creator, or if they're just going to leave the platform entirely and go over to YouTube? Because I don't know. From the data point, I would feel like the creators that have left in the past necessarily didn't carry a lot of those viewers over. And in a lot of ways, their audience shrunk when compared to what they originally had on Twitch. But I don't know. If you've got, two big creators, potentially more than that over the next couple of weeks going over there, maybe that's enough of an exodus for people to, kind of leave Twitch behind and move over to the YouTube ecosystem, which arguably has VODs. It has, live stream. It has kind of all in one where all these creators really are. Tim has a giant YouTube presence, and for him to focus everything on one platform makes a lot of sense. At the end of the day. And so maybe his audience will respond to that. And maybe maybe he'll utilize those VOD watchers as now the new stream watchers.
Maybe Twitch will fucking wake up and be like, hey, how about we do a better VOD system? How about we do a better VOD system? And how about we, is it up the bit rate? Because I heard on YouTube they got like 10K upwards, like plus, and like,
is the bitrate higher?
1440 or something.
Yeah. It is higher by. Do we know what Zeke said? 10K. Is that solid information? Let's see. Bitrate on YouTube gaming. I don't know how much higher it is. It says YouTube Live recommends a range, but it doesn't say what their max is. Lupo said 25,000 yesterday. I mean, I don't think any creator would put it at that much because it means like 2% of their audience could watch the broadcast.
Well, it depends on how good the downs.
Yeah, if the transcodes are good over there, then maybe it's worth that.
I want to know what a viewer is watching at.
You guys just talked over each other. I heard 1440p 60 at, what was that code? 25K?
25K.
Okay.
1440p 60 at 25K.
That's pretty high. What did you say, Zeke?
I don't remember. It was just a stupid interjection, so I feel really bad now.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. That would be great to be able to stream at that. I think when you look at the backbone, although, I was going to say when you look at the backbone comparisons of like Google to Twitch, it's really Google to Amazon. And then that's less of a variance or difference between like the size, right? Of the backbone there. I still think my rather ignorant view is that Google's probably a little bit bigger than like Amazon S3 servers and whatnot, but yeah.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, what do, like, he can stream at that, but what, like, do most viewers, like, what do most viewers watch at? Did most viewers still watch at 1080 or whatever?
I mean, if it depends regionally, regional wise, like
right
where they're watching. Why am I just adding ing to everything? Jesus Christ, I'm having a stroke. It depends where they're watching from regionally. Here in the U.S., right. The average bit rate or the average service is much, 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 much lower than being able to watch a 15,000 bit rate stream. The reason that these sites recommend bit rates of, 1,500 to 4,000 or 2,500 to 4,000 is because that is generally what most people can watch from a percentage point of view. And I think as you go outside of the US, that number, I would think, scales up.
Does it affect how many people can watch the higher you stream at?
Depends on the transcodes, kind of like what we were talking about with code. The transcodes being the lower bit rates or the lower resolution, and FPS, which also is a lower bit rate. So like if you go and watch the streams that you're watching right now here on Twitch, our streams, and go from 1080 60, which I think most of us are either at 6,000 or 8,000, and you drop down to like 720p 60, that also drops the bit rate down to, I don't know exact numbers, but lower than what it is at 1080p 60. So
yeah, but not every place has the option to lower.
No, every place has the option to lower. Not every place has the bit rate, the internet speed to accommodate a 8,000 bit rate stream. Like they couldn't do anything else on their own network. They couldn't browse the internet because it would be, Twitch would be taking the lion's share of it.
But they, I guess I'm not getting it because maybe I'm.
If you have $1,000,
understanding it.
If you have
but I'm saying,
hold on, let me explain it. If you have $1,000 and Twitch takes all $1,000 to run a stream, then you have $0 left to run any other streams or any other things on your network.
Right.
So you couldn't go view another website without it being remarkably slower.
What I'm asking is, are there if I streamed at a higher bit rate,
Uh-huh.
are there people out there that could not watch my stream?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
At the highest bit rate.
Yeah. Okay.
They would have to use a transcode to
So
drop it down to
They couldn't
something.
downcode it to like watch it at 720 if I'm at 1440.
No, they could. They definitely could.
Then how would I lose a viewer?
Because some people want to watch it at the max and don't want to watch it at lower
That's
bit rates
the
video.
crux.
Yeah.
That's
Also,
what we're
transcoders,
missing.
yeah,
Okay.
transcoders can suck. So even though it would be viewable for them, it may not be a good viewing experience.
Yes.
Okay,
As
that's
opposed to
the answer I
watching
was
a
looking for, I
true-
guess. I just wasn't very good at getting there.
Yeah. Well, I didn't do a great job of explaining. I introduced dollars into a system that has nothing to do with money.
And I just made funny faces.
Yeah.
No, I understood your analogy, but I could tell like I wasn't explaining myself very well.
Well, regardless, Twitch has a lower number compared to YouTube, which is enticing, I think, as a creator, because we're obviously always wanting to push the highest bit rate and highest resolution possible. And as a service,
What do you guys stream at?
1080 60 8000 is, I think, the max that really is. I wouldn't even say allowed, but it's the max that you don't get yelled at.
Acceptable.
Yeah.
Yep, me too.
So the other thing too is that the four song. Remember when YouTube had remember when Lupo had a 3 PC setup, Zeke?
Yeah.
The reason he had a 3 PC setup is so that he could have all of his VODs record at a much higher bit rate and much higher resolution while also streaming. Moving over to YouTube, you didn't need the third PC in the first place. Now you need it less because you can obviously stream at a higher
Now you don't
bit
need
rate.
it at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a higher bit rate, a higher resolution. So it makes VODs a lot prettier in that regard, because you get like a lossless video in that sense that a lot more people can watch at that higher resolution and higher bit rate, because it could actually like load it up essentially rather than it being a live stream. So
Yeah. I'd be curious. I'm gonna do this in my chat, but I'd be curious to see like when I'm doing like VOD watching. I don't do a lot of VOD watching, but I do it like during the GDQ events. I go back and watch, you know, the events I missed or the games I missed that I wanted to see and stuff.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, I don't, since it's not live, I don't like just watch that. I'm always like, you know, doing something in another window or playing a game on another screen, or
Yeah.
whatever. So I'd be curious to see like how many people like do the same thing, like rather than like
Passive
intently
watching.
focused. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's not like, so the quality of the video is not as important as it is when you're live, you know?
Sure. Yeah, I think most people that watch a lot of Twitch content are passive viewers. I think everyone that chats is obviously very
I'm a
active
passive
viewer.
streamer.
But yeah, there's a lot of, I mean, if you look at any of our chats right now, the amount of chatters compared to the amount of viewers watching is a smaller percentage. Most lurkers, you know, would count as a passive viewer in a lot of ways. So I think you're not alone in that, Zeke, whatsoever. But it's kind of hard from a analytics point of view to look at that or to find that number. at
Would
the
you
end of the
say
day,
that
I would think.
the lurkers are the silent majority of the viewers, the unseen heroes of streaming,
I would say that.
backbone of the community, hiding in the shadows?
I would say that.
Honestly, I would, but
Sorry.
their BPM isn't where I'd quite like it. Their bongos per second's a bit lower than I'd like.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're, you know, silent majority, etc. Love them.
I had a
out of-
lurker the other day drop 100-month sub. They had said 2 things in the channel over the 100 months that they had been subscribed. And
Damn.
I was very much like, what the fuck? You could do that? Like, how is
They
that
should get like a
possible?
lurker award or something.
I know, that was
That's
the first thing I'd ever
incredible.
seen. Yeah, it was rather wild to see that
Wow.
that level of a lurker. They definitely are a king of lurkers in my eyes.
Well, while it's not as much as that, or it's not like but it's every month.
Yeah.
I get one message, and they've been there since day one.
Yeah.
Like day one sub, I get one message from them, and it's in their sub message. They're like, "Hey, still here, lurking away." Like,
Yeah.
man, you don't realize how much I love you, and we never talk anymore. We've never talked.
It's true. Yeah.
Those subs that stop in every so often, like, I don't really watch Twitch anymore, but I love what you're doing and keeping my sub up. Thanks for being you. And it's just like, thanks, man.
Yeah.
It's just
Those are the feel good viewers.
the feel good viewers. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
That's good, man.
Going back to Tim and Lupo moving, did you guys, I kind of dominated the conversation. Did you guys have anything to add to it in terms of sentiment or like the whys or why nots, anything like that?
Mostly on my end, it's more just
Yeah.
like awesome. It's great. I mean, for casters, these types of things, like we wouldn't have these deals if we didn't have the deals before that, if the deals before that. Like
Correct.
it all just keeps building. I will say that it's Dr. Lupo is one, and I've been thinking about this now, and I will say it, and I mean it. Dr. Lupo is one of, if not the most well-known charity live streamers out there.
Sure.
Stuff that he has done for charity is absolutely mind-blowing. I think just him, not like a group, not like an organization, but just him has raised over like almost $10 million over his career. That's a big thing for Twitch to let go of.
Yeah.
That's big. I mean, that's really like that's like a badge of honor to have someone like that on your platform actively using it. Then on top of that, 2 days later,
A day later.
they lose arguably one of the most entertaining FPS gamers in TimTheTatMan, who, as we all know, is absolutely terrible at games, but his entertainment is second to none. And if anything else, it just goes to show you like how good of a streamer he is. Like he's got a great community. He's got literally millions of people that support him.
Yep.
And like that, and again, an absolutely amazing pickup. One of those people that you just, as a streaming platform, want on your service. Like he is just a beacon of entertainment. So it makes you think, knowing that Twitch is the relative, I mean, they are the number one streaming service still, just how it is. And to think that these two like badges of honor were lured off the platform back to back, especially considering they were in the same group that got signed to Twitch, it just goes to show you like there's a lot going on behind the scenes, man. Like I can only imagine how serious YouTube must have been with those offers to have done that, because there's no question that you whenever you move platforms, you leave a lot behind. You leave people behind. You leave a lot behind. Like you are. We have seen people jump platforms and just simply have it not work out and just forever be at a fraction of what they once were.
Mhm.
So it's a big risk. So it must mean that they feel very comfortable doing that.
When you say it didn't work out, it's like they're set for life. They're fine. It worked out.
Well, it worked out, but it
even
killed
if they
their
lost
well,
like 90% of their viewers, they're still pretty good for life, I would say.
I would say that, but I mean,
Sure.
at the same time, you get a payout, you get maybe 2 payouts, but if you're then streaming at like less than 10% of what you had before you left Twitch in the first place, that is a big sacrifice. Like at that point, you have like basically sold 90% of your success for money, and there's a chance you'll never get that back. So, those are 2 big payouts, and that's great. But at the same time, it's like you've just killed any potential. Like who knows what you could have done if you would have stayed? What other opportunities would have been available to you?
In response to that, I live within your means, invest wisely.
Sure.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I agree with you. And again, it really does come back to like everyone deems success differently. Everyone has different personal views on success and things like that. So I mean, it's a big thing to think about, and it does differ per individual. But some of us want to keep streaming like this is a perfect job. We love what we do. Like we're happy doing this. So it's when you take that kind of a hit, like that's a huge deal. Period. That's a huge deal.
Yeah. I also think that this will sound like I'm firing shots, but I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to make a statement, which is as much like bulletproofness that I can do to the statement. It's a different thing to leave to YouTube than it is to like leave to Facebook in my eyes, right? Like Facebook is a much smaller service when in comparison to YouTube.
Or to Mixer.
And so, yeah. Or Mixer back in the day. Like Mixer was a straight up gamble, right? Facebook, I wouldn't call it a gamble, but you're jumping into a much smaller ocean when compared to something like YouTube. Maybe a pool when compared to the ocean of YouTube, right? And I also think that with Lupo and Tim leaving to YouTube, like I said before, they already have an audience over there. So it's even less of a gamble. They're literally just signing a bag to not stream on Twitch, right? They're signing a contract to not be on Twitch. It's not like I would be very surprised if Tim gets, grossly lower viewership over there.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I think expectations can probably be anywhere between, like, it depends on where they are on YouTube, because the big difference is Twitch has thousands and thousands and thousands of streamers, and they have hundreds of big streamers, especially all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube has a fraction of the large streamers. They have a huge amount more large YouTubers, but in terms of people that stream regularly every day, YouTube's actually pretty behind on that. I would know because on my program that I use for tracking, I look at the top 10 streams on YouTube all the time.
Yeah.
They are generally like the 10th highest stream on YouTube is generally a fraction. Like sometimes it wouldn't even break the top 100 on Twitch.
Right.
And that's just the 10th. So if you're a larger streamer on YouTube, then you are going to potentially be better off in some cases, like than if you were to go here. At that same note, though, if you're down in that lower area, like for instance, just talking metrics. YouTube, Lupo averages like 10 to 14K people playing Tarkov here on Twitch. He's streaming right now on YouTube to 8,500 people. So, and this is arguably a super hyped time for him because he just moved over.
Yeah.
So exactly. So I mean, if we go from other people that has transferred, they were at like 2x to 5x their numbers at this point, where Lupo's actually a little under his average. Does that mean that he's going to lose a bunch more? Not at all. In fact, he may already be at his medium, like especially because he's streaming with other people around that area. But it's a very different environment, and it's a very different environment that we don't have a lot of information for people just dropping into. Like people working their way through it is one thing, but just kind of like flash in the pan moving over. It's going to be very interesting to see how these deals work out in terms of numbers.
Yep. And I think, maybe for me, even more interesting is what happens after the contract's up a year or two from now. Like, will the landscape have changed enough for those people to be like, well, I'm going to go back over to Twitch because my numbers were higher over there. The CPM was higher because I had more viewers, and I also got a shit ton more subs, and I already got YouTube's bag. I grew my YouTube channels to, 10 million subs. I'm going to go back to double dipping over there. I'll see you guys later. Right? Like, what happens when that shift occurs?
Yep.
We'll see. We'll see. Because, hey, the Twitch contract ended, and now they probably, if I'm those creators' agencies, I would be shopping those creators as fast as possible, or even before the contract's even up, right? And then where my mind goes is not necessarily that that YouTube offered them money. It's, did Twitch offer them money as well, or did they just say, sorry, we can't offer you anything, good luck, right?
I don't think we're ever going to know that for certain.
Right, we'll never know. 100%.
Yeah, we'll never know.
That's the question that I always go to right away, is like, well, what did Twitch not offer them? Because clearly they knew, right? They had these videos that immediately hit social media the second that these creators announced that they were leaving. So they were obviously privy to the information. They weren't surprised or shocked to see this type of stuff.
They would have to know, because there's a whole, I mean, first of all, they
Sure.
know that they haven't re-signed their contracts, and then they have a lot of back end stuff they have to do with that
To let them go.
Like things
Yeah.
have to be turned off. All the people that have reoccurring subscriptions, like there's a lot when a streamer as large as Lupo and Tim move. Like
Yeah.
that's a big event.
Yeah. Someone's asking.
I've been. Oh, good.
I was going to say real quick. Someone is asking, aren't they all under the same agency? Lupo is with Loaded. Tim is with WME, unless Tim has left in the past year, which I don't think he has. But
I think he has.
Yeah, WME is a more known for being a Hollywood agency or a entertainment like movies and television agency.
And also, Das Medi is loaded too, right?
I want to say yes. Yeah.
I want to say Das, and he just recently actually went to Facebook.
Yeah. In a lot of ways,
looks like.
I mean, Co and Zeke, feel free to not talk to this because you guys are both rep for Loaded. But Loaded's big paydays over the past couple of years has been every single giant streamer contract, right? Like they are out there shopping for all of those streamers. Ninja, Shroud, Tim's, I think, signed with Twitch when he was under Loaded. They have done a lot of work in regard to that.
Part of the rep's job, right, is to help
totally.
Yeah, I was gonna say
like contracts
what they do.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying that they're behind a lot of that stuff. It all kind of gets
really. I think Loaded as a whole
is
just waiting for Zeke's contract to expire. That's when the real payouts happen. I'm pretty sure the whole company is.
I signed in perpetuity, bitch. I'm not leaving. No. They got me some more money with my contract, but they take their chunk. Yeah, they do.
I mean, all agencies do. Yeah,
all agencies do.
Yeah.
To be blunt, we probably wouldn't be making a fraction of what we were without them.
Yep.
I wouldn't.
Trust me. Yeah, companies like Twitch and companies that sponsor us, their job is to get us to take as little money as possible. So, I mean, you kind of have to have someone fighting in your corner or they'll roll you over.
Yeah.
I mean, they're professionals at it, so you need professionals too.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not getting anywhere on just my face and rep and my videos and shit. Like, I bet a lot of the sponsor gigs, they look at the numbers like, those are acceptable numbers that this streamer has. They probably don't
Yeah.
I'm sure they don't come to my stream and they watch a stream for a day and they're like, sit there and approve it. I bet the companies who are sponsoring stuff.
Sure. I think in a lot of ways, this is a much larger conversation, but the reasons that sponsored streams happen, if you, they're bundles, right? If Loaded gets approached by a company, they're given X amount of dollars. Loaded then takes that and splits that across their entire suite of streamers, which is generally anytime you see a group of streamers doing a sponsored stream, they're always going to be with Loaded, right? Like they're one of the few agencies that have that amount of streamers under their agency that can kind of do that type of stuff, compared to more of like a boutique agency where it's like, well, we have XY streamer. They don't really stream all the same type of stuff, so we're a little bit more catered to like one streamer. And so, yeah.
Honestly, what I've heard is that all of these people are just scrambling to see if they can find like a really good CRPG streamer.
The hottest gaming market in the world for Eastern Europeans.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's the next big. I mean, there's Fortnite, there's Call of Duty, and then there's CRPG.
Right behind them. Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm actually thinking I'm thinking about getting like a legit metal bat because every time I open my door, it's just like 50 people right there.
You're batting the money away
car somehow.
You got to bat.
I tell you, it's tough.
Sure, I get it.
So I've been very vocal in the past about what it would take for me to jump off Twitch. $10 million, by the way.
And you get something for that 10 million.
I'm just saying,
there's a return on receipt for that.
It'll never happen. By the way, is there like a pie in the sky? Like, do you have a number in your head? Like, 100 million. I do for 100 million. Like, is there a specific number?
For me, the only thing that could get me off, and I've said this in the past too. I'm in the boat for you, where it's.
You want to rephrase
feasible.
that?
What?
I'll give you one take if you want to rephrase what you just
said.
What
I say?
The only thing that can get me off.
Okay, no. Let me rephrase that.
You can put the
only thing that will give me sexual satisfaction is. Thank you.
Good.
That was a good catch.
Yes.
The only thing for me is like if there was an offer where I could essentially all of my kids and family would be set for, and I don't mean like a little bit. I mean like a stupid amount.
Yeah.
Like they don't have to work for their lives, and then I'd be able to open my own game studio, like an actual game studio, not like an indie one. Like be able to like hire Larian Studios to make a game. And then also be able to live comfortably on that. So in other words, what I'm saying is it's not going to happen. I'm in Zeke's boat. There's no, I am not worth the amount of money. And I would be the first to tell the people offering me that I am not worth the amount of money it would take me to actually just go start on a 10-cent streaming service or something.
Yeah.
I am not worth it. I am not worth that much.
So we're thinking like 128 million for Co.
I'm thinking 500,
which is about right. Like as far as
at least,
streamer size, like that's about 12 times my size. Very
I would like 550 billion, 3 small islands. I'd like a rocket ship.
Oh, you're gonna go that route? Okay.
In a time machine.
Oh, okay. Also a time machine.
I think that would be. Yeah, that'd be fair. 560 billion.
I'll hear that. You can get that or 10 mil.
Or 10 million.
That's like nothing compared to what he wants.
You get a great video along with it as well.
Oh, and just Twitch. Just give me Twitch. I'll write the ship. I'll fix it all up. Just give me the whole streaming service, and I'll get the right people in there, make it work, bring back the old days. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Well, it was sold for almost $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
How many years ago?
5, 6, something like that. I forget when.
It was worth more now.
Yeah.
It was sold for $1 billion.
It was
900.
Technically, it was 997 million or some shit.
There. Yeah.
Do you think Twitch was like, come on, give us 3 million? Come on, just fucking please, just give us 3. Make it a pretty billion. What is 3 million when compared to 997?
3 commas. Come on.
I can
3 commas.
See the lawyers in the room. Come on, 3 million. What do we got to do? What do we got to do? Yeah, Zeke, to answer your question, whatever, I don't know what the number would be. But I do know that if I left to any other platform, the discoverability is even worse on any other platform compared to Twitch. And Twitch is already absolutely abysmal from a discovery point of view. And so it would be whatever would be enough to make me not have to worry about viewership. And like,
ever again,
is this going to be successful type deal?
But also here's the big thing. And this is one of the most important things to consider. There is nothing like Twitch yet. Like at all. Like in terms of like say what you want about Twitch, but there is no other streaming service that comes close to the amount of features they offer, the chat experience. Like Twitch is still like the top dog by far in terms of that.
Yeah.
I think it would be a very interesting playing field if a company stepped up and really focused on their viewer experience and made an amazingly intuitive, user-friendly environment for watching streams. Because we just don't have that right now. I mean, it's crazy to think that some of the biggest YouTubers come to Twitch to do their streams.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. Like they have everything they need to keep everything under the umbrella right now. They get more people seeing their channel. Like it'd be good for them to do that. But no, they come over to Twitch because the experience is so much better from a live streaming perspective. So it makes me, I got to admit, with the Lupo and Tim stuff, one thing I really like about YouTube is they have like a face. They have Fwiz, who is like the YouTube guy. And one of the things he's been saying is like they're really going to buckle down and start working on the viewer experience, which is good because frankly, YouTube really needs that. They really need that. Just like you said, there's no like discoverability page at all. Like the chat is weirder. There's not nearly as many features. Like it's a very different experience on YouTube. So it would be really nice if like we would start seeing, more of these pillars start evening out a little bit in terms of, viewers, instead of just being like, yeah, I don't like anything but Twitch, they would actually be having discussions on which one they like better, So that'd be cool.
I saw you saying all that made me jogged my memory of Courage, who actually tweeted today. He's been on YouTube for a while. And he tweeted the idea that they've added so much since I joined, which was a year ago. I don't know how recent that was. 2 years ago, a year ago. They've added a clips feature, loyalty message, subscriber only chat, polls, super stickers, which I'm not sure what those are. Ability to end stream and send your audiences to a new video. That's obviously very cool for someone who's focused on YouTube. And also mobile members, which I think is like mobile subs.
That stuff is good. That's like a quarter of what Twitch has.
Yeah,
like that's exactly. All good. It's great. They're doing
the bare minimum.
It's good, and it's good to see them making progress. And like Fwiz was saying on Twitter, I really hope that they're going to kick that kind of stuff into overdrive, where like even on Twitch for 8 years. Oh, you're a PC user? Cool. You use better Twitch TV or FFC? And it's like right. I'd love to see us get to the point where it's like not basically a requirement to use a third party thing if you want like a good chat experience. So yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
Kudos. Hey, credit where it's due. Kudos to Twitch. Like they still have the best experience. They're still working on it. And I mean, there's a reason that people keep coming here. Like, I know it's easy right now to just kind of, rag on them, but like there's a reason they're still number one in that regard, and they're still making progress on it. Like they're still staying ahead. So
Yep.
have to see.
Absolutely. When was this? So I missed this morning. Kind of jumping back to our first topic when it comes to the hashtag TwitchDoBetter. Streamlabs, not only did they announce the sub off Twitch thing, they also announced safe mode this morning at 11, so about 2 hours ago, which is a new feature that helps prevent harassment, hateful messages, and chat spam from appearing on your live stream. I don't necessarily know. It kind of just looks like. What was that?
What's the source of the Twitch blog? Or?
No. This is Streamlabs, the company.
Oh, Streamlabs. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the first part. I apologize.
Yeah, no problem. But it looks like it's kind of like an all-in-one type deal where it could, put the chat, emote only mode, follower mode, sub only mode. So it's just utilizing what Twitch already has to combat that type of stuff. I think it's the first thing on their social media page, twitter.com/Streamlabs, if you want to go check that out. So
what exactly does it do?
Just it utilizes all the Twitch functions from what I could see in the image. I didn't read the article because I just saw the tweet like 5 seconds ago, but it utilizes all the different Twitch things in one cohesive package that is readily available for all with, I think, very little configuration into it. So more like a quick fix.
It's like a panic button.
Yeah. In a lot of ways. That's what I read. In terms of other gaming news here in the last 20 minutes or so, did you guys see the stuff in China? Where
the 3 hours a day?
Yeah, no, 3 hours per week is what it is.
Yeah, I meant to say that. Yeah. Just still, wow.
So if you are under 18, you are now limited to 3 hours of play a week in China. And the reason while this is a big thing outside of China is if you look at the gaming companies of the world, the mobile games, the Blizzard Activisions, whoever has any games that exist over in China, that's a giant demographic that just got completely slashed from any money that they've put into that region over the past couple of years. 3 hours per week is it's 3 hours per week. Right? Like that is so small. That's such a small percentage from how much money these companies have invested over the years into that region. And it also could shape, what the future looks like for those companies as well in China. So it's a very interesting change, which, while not necessarily related to, there was a South Korean change that removed, I think, the curfew for gaming. It was the opposite in South Korea this past week, where now people can play and go to the PC bongs once they reopen, of course, from COVID, and just play for 24 hours plus, rather than having to go home because of a curfew. So it's a little insane to see that type of stuff. I really wonder what type of shifts we will see from the gaming industry as a whole when it comes to that market and how they're actually utilizing that type of stuff. If you guys have anything to weigh in on, here's your time while I search for the next story.
I think you covered a lot of it.
Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting development to see how it's all plays out for sure.
Yeah.
Now, feel free not to go over it again, but did you say what their motivation for this is?
What China's motivation is? Let's see if they put out a statement here. I think there was I remember they called it like a social epidemic, or they had a very strong worded message about it. Essentially, though, it's China, trying to control the country as they are prone to do. I forgot exactly the.
Oh, are they attacking from a gaming addiction angle?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I think that's exactly what it was.
Somebody in my chat just said they've officially announced it's lowering game addiction.
Yeah.
They consider it spiritual and social opium.
Yeah, that was the quote that I remember.
Really?
When we covered that on JPNN. So
I always thought I was social opium. That's interesting. I see China's been looking through my emails.
I'm trying to figure out who said this exactly. Oh, okay. So this is from the state news agency.
Oh, I'm copium. Oh, okay. Fair,
there you go.
fair.
From the state news agency in China. The quote, translated quote is, "Teenagers are the future of our motherland. Protecting the physical and mental health of minors is related to the people's vital interest, and relates to the cultivation of the younger generation in the era of national rejuvenation." Yeah.
National rejuvenation.
The state media outlet described online games as, quote, "spiritual opium," and cited Tencent's Honor of Kings in an article that called for more curbs on the industry, battering shares in the world's largest gaming firm by revenue. From Reuters.
Sir Drunken Monkey, love the name, brings up an interesting question. Does this also apply to mobile games?
Yeah.
Like, are they going to
games? Any games? Yeah. Probably specifically mobile games in a lot of ways.
So even like when you're traveling and stuff. So I mean, those kids are going to have to be like, I bet you mobile gaming is going to probably go up, because that's like one of the leading ways to kind of kill time when you're traveling on public transportation and stuff. So I wonder if people are actively going to be like, yeah, I don't want to play games tonight because I want to play on the bus tomorrow. You know, and things like that.
Could be. They had a
wait,
lot of.
Wait, okay, hold on. Some people are saying it's only online games. We'll have to look into that.
Yeah, I'll read the full article here and skim for that. What were we gonna say, Zeke?
I'm just saying, necessity is the mother of invention. So like, this gonna make a lot of people go, how do we get around that? And there's gonna be a lot of new cool ways to get around.
Like handheld. Oh my God! Think about the market for handheld. Because I mean, like there's got to be devices that aren't online. Absolutely,
Totally.
Like bootleg game consoles. Oh my God, it's going to be an underground gaming thing.
Soldier Boy's going to
be
be
like
rich.
A whole underground ring. Oh, was this his plan all along?
I think so.
Well, I'm wondering if, like,
oh my Lord,
I'm sure they thought of VPNs, but I'm wondering if that's like a solution for them. I don't.
I've heard VPNs are a bitch in China.
They're a pain in the ass from everything that I've read and had people experience.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's a little different there.
The article states the new rules published on Monday are part of a major shift by Beijing to strengthen control oversight and key factors of the economy, blah, blah, blah. The restrictions, which apply to any devices, including phones, are a body blow to the global gaming industry that catered to tens of millions of young players in the world's most lucrative market. How lucrative? Later on in the article, it says the Chinese games market will generate an estimated $45.6 billion of revenue in 2021, ahead of the United States, according to analytics firm Newzoo. They're big.
And they're cutting that by like 90%, right?
Yep. About 60.
You know what this fucking means? I just realized.
What's that?
We're going to see the shit that you saw on mobile. It's going to move to
everywhere. It already is.
Yeah.
It already is. Yeah.
It already is.
But it might get bad.
I mean,
like real bad.
Yeah, we'll see. The article also states 62.5% of Chinese minors often play games online, and 13.2% of underage mobile game users play mobile games for more than 2 hours a day on working days, according to state media. So, a lot of mobile gamers over there. A lot of minors playing mobile games, as well as just games in general.
You know what? And I'll let me just say I probably should just keep my fucking mouth shut about mobile and online gaming and shit, because I don't do a lot of it, so I don't see like a lot of that shit. Like I don't see any microtransactions or
it's definitely there.
In-game shops and stuff. Like I don't see a lot of it.
It's
because
totally there.
I usually buy like a game experience, like beginning, middle, end.
Yeah.
There's also EA and stuff like that. What we're seeing is we're seeing companies that make games for money. They don't make games for passion. They don't make games to make good games. They make games for money. So they want the games to be the best they can so they can get the most money out. But I mean, we've been seeing stuff like this from EA for years and years now. And we're starting to see entire games that are built around mobile gaming principles as nearly AAA computer games.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's all part of the course for the industry. People are seeing more success. There's a huge, like JP just said, there's a huge billions of dollars in this industry. And now people are getting into it just to make money. They're just going to make things to pull as much money as they can out of the people that are playing the games.
Yeah.
And also, it bears repeating, like this is a law for minors in China, right?
Correct. 18 or younger. Yeah.
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 So there's, I mean,
Uh,
I'm sure
for
there's a lot of
now.
kids with
For
a
now.
lot of money, but
Yeah.
I would say the vast majority of people with money to blow on this stuff are probably over 18.
Potentially,
it's going to be a chunk.
Yeah. Well, and the other aspect too is if you look at like the world of esports, China is obviously probably arguably the biggest scene for esports in a lot of games, if not the majority of games. And so that's also a giant blow to the world of esports and kind of what happens with that moving forward.
Hold on. I'm super sorry if I just missed you saying this. Does that gaming thing also include watching games?
That I don't know. Potentially not. But it could limit the idea of like if you think of the 18 and younger demographic in China is the farm league of esports, right? When it comes to MOBAs like League of Legends or Dota or anything like that. If they can only play 3 hours a week.
No, chat's like thinking dollar signs. No, it's not what I meant. I specifically was talking about the esports.
They can still watch esports.
There's a 1,000 to 1 ratio in terms of people contributing to esports via a player or a watcher.
Right.
So I wonder, like, if you can still watch all the games, maybe we're going to see a big surge in people watching esports because they can't actually play the game anymore.
Could be.
Now they want to like watch people play it, So I mean, that could be a thing.
Could be. Yeah. Maybe so. What else is there in the world of gaming? Not necessarily the biggest thing, more just a question I'll pose to you guys. Windows 11th. 11th. Yeah. That's what they're going to call it. Windows 11th. Please buy it. Windows 11 is coming out October 5th. Are you guys going to jump in or are you going to wait? Are you going to risk the entirety of your stream?
the first round of a Windows system?
Yeah, it always works well, right? It's always a perfect solution to an OS. That really will just
Brother, I literally used XP until the last. They had to pry it from my cold, like semi-dead hands. No, absolutely not, dude.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'd still be using XP if I could.
XP was pretty good. I like the rolling hills graphic. That was a pretty good background wallpaper.
As someone who still uses XP on a VM from time to time.
Yeah.
It's a good operating system. It does what you want to do, and it's pretty customizable. It's pretty like fixable.
Yeah. It's not bad.
7 was good too. 10 has gotten a lot better. 8 was a shit show.
Yeah, it was. It was indeed. What else is there?
So, yeah.
Cool. I'm sure you've probably talked about this a lot. But what was that thing?
My pawn shop, like the pawn shop I used to work at, I left. I don't know, like 8 years ago, 7 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
They were still using XP on their computers.
Oh, I would. I have no idea what the actual number is, but I would think a large majority of retail OS is all XP, and probably even in a lot of places even older than that. There's no reason to update that shit, right? It costs money. So when you think about the scalability of that, you're
basically
astronomical. For what? Windows 11?
Oh yeah.
Oh
when
yeah.
When you pick it up like first day. Oh god. Yeah. They can't QA that properly with as many different things that OSs are used with all the different type of equipment that people use.
Yeah.
You're basically a beta tester if you opt in day one.
100%.
And I mean, hell, their updates are already breaking our shit almost every single time. So it's like, I don't know, man. I mean, what was it? Just last week, I had to it basically nearly bricked my Go XLR.
I heard about that.
I updated it. Yeah, Windows basically shoved a generic driver into the Go XLR system. Windows wouldn't detect it. I couldn't uninstall it. I couldn't replace it. I could even point at a new driver, wouldn't do it. Software uninstall, reinstall, didn't do it. Off and on again 1,000 times, nothing. I had to go into the Go XLR Discord and get a special program that forced the driver out, held the door open with its foot, and jammed the Go XLR driver in. And that's the only way I can get it to work.
Jesus.
And they were like, "Yeah, dude, Windows. It's like a mission, just trying to keep up with Windows updates, trying to keep that stuff working properly."
Were they forcing a Windows sound driver into it or something? Was that the case?
Yeah, it would show up as a generic USB device, and because it was a generic USB driver, Windows had no idea how to utilize its audio outputs, assign them in Windows. It was just jamming a generic driver in there, and it would not let it be removed.
Yeah,
I'm sure in its mind they were trying to help, but obviously it was not working.
Right. Yeah. Right.
really lots of jamming. Yes, lots of jamming, Adlowski. Lots of jamming. Zeke would have been thrilled.
Do you know the difference between jelly and jam? You can't jelly a generic driver into your USB.
That's the difference.
It's a different joke, but with, you know.
Yeah, it worked. Cool. What's going on
I like
with CD Projekt Red hiring some of the modders? Weren't we literally just talking about this? That this is what they should do like a couple weeks back?
Yeah, I here's the thing. I like it. I think it's good. I think it's a PR move. I think it's all a PR move. I do. Because I mean, it's the kind of thing where like they already had their vision. They just didn't have time to develop it. So, you know, just I mean, as anyone in coding knows, you know, you can't really just drag and drop coders into a project. I mean, it's going to be months, you know, months and months and months of learning how you're going to implement it, how you're going to get it in. Now, granted, they're familiar with the code, which could be good. Like that could be a good thing. But I don't know if it'll have a tangible impact in any time soon. I do like that they're doing it, and I hope it's freaking awesome. But I wouldn't say that it's like a quick fix.
Right.
But it's a good thing they did. It is good PR, and you know, if it makes stuff that's meaningful in Cyberpunk get here even a day faster, I'm all for it.
Yeah. We'll see what happens with it. I think, is there any other big news stories over the past week you guys want to bring up? I think that's it. I'm kind of scrolling through stuff here.
They showed the first screenshots from the Dead Space remake.
Did they show footage as well or no? Was it just screenshots?
All
yesterday?
I saw was a screenshot.
I haven't covered that stuff yet.
All I saw was the screenshot, but oh man, honestly, that's all it took for me to see to be like, okay, I'm on board with this.
What is this?
Like, yep.
Someone saying
No Man's Sky
there's a Midnight Suns gameplay reveal in 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's happening here in just a few minutes. I think, is that in 3 minutes or 4 minutes, chat, or is that in an hour?
Oh, chat is saying there was some pre-alpha footage. I didn't see that.
I think I'm looking at that right now. It looks like Dead Space spoilers.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's the first one, but
yeah. And a lot of stuff, they're showing like the dismemberment stuff that exists in Dead Space and kind of what looks to be a dev zone, like giant gray walls with, you know, untextured boxes, etc. while he's dismembering a body. So it's Dead Space. That's exactly what that stuff looks like. I think that is all.
That screenshot looked delicious, though.
Let me see if I can find that.
Like Dead Space is already a horrifying game, and if they can actually port the whole experience over to look as good as the difference did between that screenshot, I am all for it. All for it. Yeah. Ooh, I had a tweet up if you want to find it.
I'll just go to your Twitter fast.
Well, yeah, I quote tweeted a page that linked it. It was with like there's like 3 people on the side talking about it, and then the screenshot in the middle. Lost Ark got delayed to next year.
I saw the Lost Ark post, but I didn't read what was in it. Did you?
Oh no. I'm just seeing that in chat. I didn't know. Lost Ark delayed, and the open beta was announced for November, according to their Twitter, says Vossi.
Delayed to 2022.
Oh, I think
now, which one was Lost Ark? Remind me.
It's ARPG.
Lost Ark is the ARPG MMO.
Yeah, that Amazon Games is publishing here in the U.S. It's already out in Korea.
They released an entire letter. Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah.
I'll skip to that real quick.
Back in June, we hold a closed technical aspect while delving into all the great feedback and data generated from our alpha and reviewing recent changes to the Korean version that we want to include in our release. We discovered a lot more work that needed to be needed at launch to launch Lost Ark at the high quality bar our players deserve. While we'll be launching early 2020, you won't have to wait until next year to get your hands on Lost Ark. Our closed beta test will be conducted from November 4th to November 9th. Okay. All right. Well, hey, you know what? Especially with a game with as many eyes on it as Lost Ark, and to be blunt, Amazon Games cannot afford failures.
Yeah.
I'd much rather them do it right than try to rush something out the door.
It's kind of crazy to think how many delays Amazon Games has put out on their games.
Dude, honestly, one of the most interesting things in gaming right now, in my opinion, is going to be two numbers: the amount of people playing New World on the first day, and the amount of people playing New World 2 months later.
You think 2 months? I think a month later.
Maybe even a month.
Yeah.
Maybe even a month. But I'm very interested to see like if New World is a flop for all intents and purposes, that's gonna be like, man, that's gonna be something you could write like dissertations on. like that's gonna be a huge deal.
Yeah,
it's gonna be very interesting. There's lots of streamers that have been very public about the fact that they love the game, they can't wait for it, like all this stuff, and I'm very curious to see how they're gonna be feeling about the game a month or 2 months later.
Yeah. Well, that launches the end of this month, right? So
End of September.
Really, the only thing that will combat that in terms of fight for gamers' attentions would probably be Battlefield in October, right? Like that's probably the next big online game to come out.
When's Endwalker? November?
That's November 19th for early access. So that's the next
It'll have some time.
Yeah.
It'll have some time.
In terms of a direct game comparison, yeah. They'll have 2 months for that. But yeah, we'll see. I would be surprised if, at least from a Twitch point of view, I would be surprised if that's not a sub 10,000 game directory on Twitch after a month, after all the sponsored streams are gone.
Yeah. It'll be very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think they're premiering this gameplay for Midnight Suns now, but it's an IGN special premiere, so they're doing their IGN-ness and teasing it out. So we'll wait for an actual YouTube video to come out for all that type of stuff, unless that's already out. We might check that out in the second part of the show. But for now, we'll take a break. We'll come back, talk about the games we've been playing, and go from there. So thank you for watching Drop Frames. We will be right back after this quick break. We'll see you guys on the other side.